and foremost, very categorically, I not only wish to debunk the reckless allegations made by Vivek Srivastava on your show, but I completely denounce his absolutely shameless and pathetic language for the duly elected sitting Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I don't understand why this rabid hate monger continues to find time and space on national media. He's a paid darbari and he's as shameless as they come. But let me stick to facts, because your audience knows Vivek Srivastava's credibility is lower than the Mariana Trench. Let's get down to this. In the last 3 years, and this is data that is publicly available, the Ayatollah Khamenei regime in Iran gave $700 million worth of funding to Hamas, $625 million to Al-Qaeda, $1 billion to Hezbollah, and $16 billion to the dictatorial regime of Bashar al-Assad in Syria. Of course, he was, then removed by the Americans. That's a different story. So point number one, Iran has not only protected but actively funded dictatorial regimes and terror groups. Point number two, taking off from Mr. Ranganathan. Did Iran support India on CAA? No, it did not. It actually stood against India. Did Iran support India on the Kashmir resolution at OIC? No, it actually went against us on the Kashmir issue at OIC. Did Iran support us during Operation Sindoor? No, it did not. It was standing in solidarity with terror state of Pakistan. Did Iran support us during the Delhi riots when many nations stood shoulder to shoulder with us? No, Pranesh. Iran actually said that Delhi riots happened because Muslims were being marginalized by the Modi government. And as recently as September 2024, Khamenei actually had the audacity to equate India with what was happening to minorities in Gaza and in Myanmar. So has Khamenei supported India when it mattered most? The answer is no. The most important point, however, is this, and this is specifically for Vivek Srivastava before I end what I'm saying. Between 1917 and 1922, the Russian Civil War and Bolshevik Revolution, millions were killed thanks to communist ideology. Between 1958 and 1962, thanks to the Great Leap of Mao Zedong, millions were killed in China. Between 1975 and 1979, under Pol Pot of the notorious Khmer Rouge, millions were killed. It is said that only in the 20th century, not 21st, more than 120 million people were killed by communists and communist ideology. So for a communist and a propagandist like Vivek Srivastava to sit on your show and speak absolute rubbish against Prime Minister Modi, I'm not going to hold back my punches. This man is as illiterate as they come. And my final point on Brinda Karat. Brinda Karat, आज अब झंडे लेकर ईरान के समर्थन में खड़ी हो गई. This is the same Brinda Karat who consumed Fevicol during the gold scam in Kerala. Brinda Karat consumed Fevicol during the Sabrimala gold theft case in Kerala. Brinda Karat consumed Fevicol during the Thrissur Cooperative Bank scam case. Brinda Karat consumed Fevicol during the excise scam in Kerala. And Brinda Karat has kept quiet as to why Pinarayi Vijayan in 2018, 2023 and 2025, when Kerala was in the grip of floods and landslides, had the audacity to go to Mayo Clinic for his treatment at Minnesota at taxpayer funds. So Brinda Karat, dare you not challenge Narendra Modi? Clean up your own backyard, lady. Clean up your own dirty backyard before you lecture the Modi government on the do's and don'ts of foreign policy. Anish Gawande has zero idea about foreign policy. He's clueless, he's reckless, and he behaves like an illiterate, churlish juvenile. He said that what Sanju Verma is saying is not the BJP's official line. I don't need lessons from a spokesperson of a party which lost its national party status to tell me what I should say, how I should say, when I should say. So let me make this very clear. औकात में रहिए, मुझे यहां पर भाषण मत दो. But I will come to the facts. Now look at the interesting fact. Leave out Iran. Just Bahrain, Jordan, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. And do you know something? More than 95 lakh Indians stay in these West Asian countries. These West Asian countries account for more than 38% of India's remittance flows, 43% of India's petroleum imports, 78% of gas, 14% of goods exports, 44% of jewelry exports, 24% of auto exports, 19% of India's goods imports, and 20% of food and beverage exports. So if I have to look at it very commercially, does it make sense for India to stand with UAE, with Jordan, with Bahrain, with Qatar, with Kuwait? Yes. Now let us come to the humanitarian aspect of it. 25,000 people were killed under Khamenei's watch, out of which 87% were women and 62% were young girls between the age of 19 and 22. So Khamenei was no hero. The third and most important point is this. What is common between Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Al Jazeera, Washington Post and Ayatollah Khamenei? The fact remains that all these people in the recent past, particularly after abrogation of Article 370, started using the term not Pakistan occupied Kashmir. They used to call Kashmir, which is an integral part of India, India occupied Kashmir. और ऐसे लोगों के लिए the people below the panel, their hearts are bleeding. But my final point to Vivek Srivastava, he called Modi government's policy, foreign policy, नपुंसक. इन्होंने शब्द का प्रयोग किया था नपुंसक. तो विवेक श्रीवास्तव जी, नपुंसक पॉलिसी तब थी when Nehru internationalized the Kashmir issue. नपुंसक पॉलिसी तब थी when Nehru gave away 38,000 square kilometers of Aksai Chin on a golden platter to China. नपुंसक पॉलिसी तब थी when in 1974 Indira Gandhi without parliamentary approval gave away Kachativu Islands to Sri Lanka. नपुंसक पॉलिसी तब थी when despite K. Sundarji, the then army chief, saying he is not happy, Rahul Gandhi's dad Rajiv Gandhi went ahead with Operation